Okay, so if you were doing it in Windows with Notepad, this, I guess, this is this page that helps you set up how to do it in Notepad. Did anybody help any Shy? What, did you get yours up?
Yeah.
Did you get Notepad figured out? No? Okay, do you see this page that I'm showing in the book? Can you see the page that I'm showing in the book? Shy?
Yeah.
Do you see it? Did you look at that and try to set it up? This is creating a new document in Notepad Windows, which I can't do it on this computer because I have a Mac at home. That's what I'm using, my laptop. So if you, you actually can share your screen with me if you're still having trouble with it. Does yours not look like this shows here in the book?
I can't find that.
You can't find.
Yeah, I opened file on mine, like it said to.
Uh-huh. You open Notepad.
What looking for.
Oh, this is what you were saying, hide extensions. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not even a big thing. When you open Notepad, you don't, if you do view tab like it says there, it doesn't matter if it hides the extensions. Find hide extensions and uncheck. The reason it's telling you to do that is so that you'll know whether it's a HTML file or what kind of file it is. And normally in Windows, they have it hiding the extension of the file name.
Okay.
So there may be another place you can do. Who else is doing Windows? Is anyone else?
I am Professor Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay, did you have trouble with that?
I had a little bit of trouble with it because my layout is not the same as it is in the book. So it was some things like I kind of had to figure some things out, but I figured it out.
Okay, and so then you were able to use Notepad.
I was able to use Notepad. Like I said, it just in the book, the diagram is different than how it described. So it was just
probably a different. Maybe it's a different version of Windows or something.
It may be. It may be.
So the main thing to do, Shy, is to get to where you've got a blank screen like this back here to be able to type in your document. And so if when you open a file, you have that, then you can go ahead and type it in. It's wanting you to take that off and so that you can tell that you're saving it as a .html.
Yeah.
Oh, Ashton can help. Yeah.
What's the step?
So in a couple of minutes, let's see, it's 5:45. Okay, so what I'm going to have you all go on and do after, let's see, I had you did all of this chapter. Good pages, go bad. Let me see if there was anything in here. Okay, those of you that have completed this exercise, did you have any questions about it? These exercises?
Yeah. I didn't have any questions, Professor Wilson. I just had a comment to make.
Okay.
In the very last exercise, where the author instructs everybody to type that element out exactly the way it is in the book.
When you get to right here, are you talking about? Okay.
When you get to the end, the only thing that's highlighted is the first heading or the second heading. They don't tell you or instruct you that you're supposed to do the third and the fourth heading. I had to figure that out on my own too.
Okay, now you actually should have also in that folder, that zip folder should have the correct actual answers to this. So you're saying, okay, let me see what you're talking about. Where it says, when you mean there was an H2, H3?
Yeah, I feel like it should have been explained to everybody to do H3 and H4 the same way that you did H2, because if you do it the way this is laid out in the book and you refresh your browser, the catering and the location and hours are not highlighted in red. And that's because there were no instructions to do the H3 and H4.
Oh, there shouldn't be an H3 and H4.
Oh.
No. Okay, the way a style sheet works is that this style will be applied to every H1 that's in your HTML. So if you want to open your, well, I can go through this. I can do it one of two ways. We can go through here and follow these instructions and see if we come up with this, or
when I did mine came out like that.
Okay, so Kenya's did, but she did it different or something. Let's see. Okay, so in 4.
I ended up putting H1, H3 and H4, but when I was done with it, it still came out just like the photo.
Yeah, you can't, you don't want to use, I think the styles is this your first time to do CSS, Kenya?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so let me explain what header 3 and header 4 would mean that text was smaller if you actually applied an H3 and an H4. It's not actually how many headings you have. It's talking about the size of headings.
Okay.
So like an H1 is going to be the largest and an H2 is going to be next. So it's like the structure of your HTML. Let me see if that opened in. Let me get it open in, let's see, I can actually do it in, here's text edit. Okay. Oh, I bet it's opening over here. Why is that not?
Yeah, here's mine that I did on my computer.
Okay, let's see if I can get it to open. For some reason, it is not. Oh, okay. Well, I was going to do it in text edit. Now I don't see where text edit. Okay. That might have done it over here on my other screen. I've got. Okay, well, I'm just going to open it over here so we can make it the finished one. I can't get text edit to open. Three. Oh, for some reason, these files are not wanting to open for me. Come on. Oh. Okay, I don't want that open. File. Okay. I don't know why they won't open that over there. Maybe it's opening in the browser. Is that what it's doing? No, it's not doing that either. I'm going to try dragging it over. Okay, well, what I can do is open. Why is it not opening? That is weird. Never had that happen on here. I can't even find. Something wrong. I have to shut it down. And maybe it's because I'm in the Zoom. Let's see if I can get text edit. Okay, there's text edit. Now, let me see. See if I can even get it to open in text edit, 'cause that'll look more like your, maybe because it's on the cloud, maybe that's what it is. Now, I don't know why it's not letting me open it. Okay, so I'm going to close this and we're just going to type it in. It should let me type it in to text edit. Or I can open, okay, Kayla, is yours submitted?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just go about it this way. Go over here.
Yeah, I submitted mine.
Okay.
Hi, Miss Donna. I made it.
Okay, hey, Lainey.
Hi, lady.
Hi.
Okay, let's see here. Are you in the Zoom or are you in the classroom?
I'm in the Zoom. I just came back from the school. I didn't know that we were allowed to do it at the school. I just biked home.
Okay.
Also, I
Okay.
wanted to tell you that I will not be able to get the book until Thursday.
Okay. You just have to catch up. You got a lot, you'll have to cram. Well, is that for social media too, or just this one?
Just this class.
Okay.
But I'm
All
still
right.
not able to get to that chapter in social media.
Let me know who wins that.
Oh, yeah, I haven't been able to look at screens for 3 days, so I'm trying to
Yes.
make it through tonight. Hopefully in another day, it'll be okay.
Okay,
I had to have holes poked in my eye.
that's fun.
Oh, yeah, this is the third
Oh, that
time.
isn't fun. No. I've had
Don't you
that
know the
happen
joys
before.
of getting
No.
poked in the eye?
Yeah, okay, so did you open this up, Kenya, and look at it when you were doing yours? This is the one that's in, or no,
Oh.
this is Taylor.
Learning what is on page, chapter 4, 52.
Thank you.
Okay, there's
The
yours.
part you need
Okay,
anyway.
so what a CSS style does is everything that's up here is going to be applied to the tags that are in the HTML. And so you see there's no H3 or H4, so you don't need an H3 or H4.
Oh, okay.
So what it's saying is the body tag, this is the background color, this is the margin. So that's saying for your whole body of your document. So everything between the opening body and the closing body is going to be with this font, and it doesn't say a specific font, it just says a sans serif font. So that means one like no tails, which would be like Arial or Verdana or something, whatever the default is. So if I go in, I'm gonna, oh, this is, you just did a ping shot. Hey, Kayla, can you upload your HTML and CSS too? Did she hear me?
Oh, no, she had a phone call. She left. Give her a
Oh,
second.
okay. All right, let me see. Does anyone else have theirs up there? Because it's maybe let me open. Ashton, yours is there. Let me look at it. Oh, yours didn't do right either, did it?
I do not believe so.
Okay, so somehow I've got to get it to open. I do not know what is wrong with my, Brianna, what about you? You know already. Yeah, there's hers. Okay. Did you download your, oh, everything's in this CSS, but your background isn't showing up. Are you in the classroom, Brianna?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have it, did it show up right on yours? Because it looks like you're not seeing the, oh, I know why, because you didn't include the image in there. Is that what it is? Okay, look. Okay, let me see if it'll at least let me open this one with text edit.
I know, Mom. That's fine.
It's camera.
Okay, there we go. All right, so let me make this a little, oh, that isn't showing the HTML though. Why not? I downloaded the HTML. Oh, I better know why. Let's see. I didn't set up my text edit to take those preferences off. Oh my goodness. Oh, eyes are really like. Where did Okay, so you remember in the book, it showed you on text edit, and something on my whole computer is messed up. Because it's not even opening text edit right. Trying to do everything out of the cloud. I've never had this. I may have to shut it down and.
You gotta keep on that view though. You're gonna say what they mean, but she said.
Amy, I brought your goodies to class on Monday.
Say what?
I brought you goodies on to class on Monday.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just give them to you. Are you going to be in class next Sunday?
I'll be up there Wednesday.
You'll be there Wednesday?
Okay, so.
This Wednesday, yeah.
Okay.
Y'all probably
And I
won't.
will be there Monday as well. I'll be in class.
Okay, because I got like a bunch of stuff to give you.
Oh
Okay,
my God. Okay, thank you.
you guys need to.
You're welcome.
Okay, there's preference. Okay, so on text edit, see it's saying, if I can get it to change. Yeah, to be clear.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Now I can type it in. I should be able to.
It's easy. There's no negative. They don't say anything.
Hey, want to go to McAllister's and get some tea?
It used to be so good when I was young.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get this.
Because it's more.
Here, so y'all can
Maybe
see.
because of more. Or can we go to Tropical?
Just go to chicken.
So.
See you later.
I gotta sit here for a while and wait. I don't know this.
Won't even let me. Can y'all see this? So if you type in HTML and our head, what goes, you know what goes in between a head? The head opening and closing is where the title tag goes. Can you see that? I couldn't get the text any bigger. There we go. But it's going to make me. Okay, in between the head tag, you probably want to do that, down there, is the title tag. And remember, I told you in the title tag, okay, if you didn't submit yours or you're not sure you did it right, go ahead and type this with me and we will get this number 5. So in the title tag, what did I tell you to put? I remember over here.
That's the wrong direction.
Says title tag, put your name and the assignment name, chapter 4 dash, whatever the name of the exercise. So I would go, in the title tag, I would put my name, and then I would put the name of the exercise. Now, this name of this exercise is not going to show up in your browser window, but that's what you want. Okay, everybody should either be in text edit or notepad and typing this in so I can make sure you know what's going on. Now, I'm going to move the book over here where I can see. Hey, everything needs to be bigger.
So we're doing chapter 4 together?
Yeah, if you haven't done 4-5, which I know you haven't because you don't have the book, so if you open this up and do it, you'll have part of that exercise, the very last one, okay?
Okay. I could just take a screenshot of when it's done and just do it. If that's cool. I can't really do it right now. My computer is down. I'm on my phone right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm recording it so you can see it after you can do it once you get your computer up. Because I want everybody to know what we're doing. This is the let's see if I can get the problem is that I can't see. Okay. So one thing that I haven't done yet, you noticed in text edit, it says untitled, or if you're in Notepad, it says untitled, right? So you want to name it. What did it tell us to name it? File right here. I want to say save, and I want to save it as index.html, right? Okay, so every HTML document, and if you've read that first part of the chapter, you should know that every HTML, which these were these other exercises. First, you did all the HTML. See, HTML structure, what's very important that you understand is that if you don't have like the restaurant, catering, location, and hours defined as an H2, then it's not going to appear like this because the tag H2 is a header tag, and it means that it's going to print it in bold print and it's going to skip a line after it. And an H1 is the largest heading. So that would be this Black Goose Bistro. So like this one, this one, this one have to be coded as H2s. This is an H1. And this is the structure before there is any style. So when you coded this in HTML, it was what's called straight, doesn't have any style to it. You notice when we get to HTML5, how this is centered and the title is centered. You see the difference? That's what your CSS style sheet does. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's why each one of these built on the previous one. So like this one, once you have the structure, you always want to code your HTML first and then apply what styles you want. So I want to see if it won't open right now. It's already typed in, so I don't have to type all of it. Oops, sorry about that. Oh. All of them is ringing. Hey, Megan. Hey, Megan. Yeah. I'm doing a class on Zoom. I won't be real long, but I needed, are you coming out this way?
Yeah, I was going to. It's okay.
Yeah, I need something. I can't drive. I'll tell you here in a minute. Let me get through this. Wherever you stop to get something, you know what I like. Because I'll be on this call, on this class for a little bit until you get here. Oh, okay. Well, just come on here. That'll be all right. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So, so if I'm going to see again if this will. Brianna, was yours straight HTML? It had the was. I'm going to see now if it'll open. It's still open as. You saved it as an HTML file. Oh well. Okay. So if I was going to look at this in a browser window, would it save it? Let's see. It's not saving it as a HTML file, is it? Okay, search. Where did it go? That's saving it as a document. What is the crazy thing doing? File. Okay. I don't want to export. Set up. I don't know what it's doing. Try this one again. Code mode right here. Okay, now one thing that Dreamweaver does, and all these WYSIWYGs, is you'll notice it puts your basic tags in here. It went ahead and put my HTML5. So I'm going to put this one, save as, it should be as index. And let me make sure I'm in the right folder so I can find it again. I'll make this a new folder, class. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Now, you should already have this typed in. If you followed exercises 1 through 4, you should have an HTML tag, and you notice at the bottom of the HTML document, you have your cancel tag. Then you have your head. You guys might want to mute your mic so you can hear me. And then if you have a question, just unmute and ask the question. Okay, so I'm going to type that in again, my name. Oh, I thought I was. Let me see here. Dash. Okay, this is going to be 5. All right, so now if I wanted to view this in a browser window, I can actually, it's a lot easier in Dreamweaver to see, split screen. Okay, so in the browser window, you notice there's nothing, because until I put something in the body, then there's not going to be anything showing up in my browser window. Everybody know what I mean by browser? Okay, I know I had y'all mute, so if you have a question or you want to respond, you can unmute, but then there's not so much noise going on. Okay, so where did my book go? Oh, go to where? There it is. Move this back over. All right, so I need to go ahead and type in the rest of the document. So all I had was the title. And up here is actually inside the head section is where your style sheet has to go. And so I can go ahead and put that tag, even though I'm not going to type the style in yet. So that, oop, I did it twice. It already did it for me. So I'm going to type that style to my document. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and show you what it's going to look like without that typed in, or with just the HTML. I wonder, it's because those are showing that they're on the cloud. That may be what my problem is. Let me see if I can move them to my desktop. I think that's what it is. It's because it's on my cloud that it's not letting me. Okay, running web design. Let me see if I can get that one folder over. Oops. Wow, it's not even letting me move it. Come on. Being so contrary. Oh, it is trying to move it. Okay. So I'm going to have to look back to know what all's supposed to be in the HTML document because it had you build them and it's not letting me open mine. So let's go back to this is where it talked about the structure that I was talking about, the basic document structure. And let's see, is that going somewhere in there? So see, here was an example of the H1 because it's a title. So where does it have you type it in? Where's exercise 1? That's 2. Is that the first place you typed it in or was it in 1? That looks like entering content. Okay. Oh, it had you open a text file. Type the home page content below in the new document in your text editor. Copy it exactly as you see it. Okay. So it had you copy that text file and put it in an HTML document, right? Is that what it had you do? Okay, so that's why that text file's there. I gotta turn that off. Oh, where's my other one? Huh, my other daughter. Goodness, let me turn that. Okay, Jamie, I'm going to be all right. Megan's going to come over here, and I'm on a class Zooming them right now. So, okay. Well, it won't be very long, and I can check. Okay. Oh. Oh no. Well, call Megan and see if she'll call him on her phone.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Okay. All right. Bye. Okay. Okay. It is trying to move that stuff over to my desktop. That's why it wasn't opening. That is so weird. Okay. So in this part, it won't even let me open that text file, I don't think. Let me see. Maybe copy it. Okay, maybe it did. Open. Okay, so here's the one that I was trying, that y'all started with. And now this, what you want to do with this is if you open this up in a browser window, it won't show up because it's not, doesn't have the tags in there. So now what we're going to do is make each one of these to be a tag so that it will, an HTML tag. So that's what it probably had you do in exercise 2, right? So we placed our content there. There's the basic structure. So every HTML document has to have at least this set of tags. So this is sometimes what I have students do is type this in and save it as a template. And every HTML document that you start, you have this already coded, like Dreamweaver did. When you opened it up, it opened up a document that looked like this. So then you know how to start it. And everything that's in the head section is just part of your HTML, but when you open it in the browser, it doesn't show up. It's just for you to know what the title of your, the title here will show up in the browser window. Like when they give it a title, let's see, when they showed you what the screen looks like. Okay, this is 4-2, so I'm going to try to get this. Okay, this one has the HTML, the head, the title. What else does it tell you to put? Okay, it tells you to put the title Black Goose Bistro, which I had you put your name so I know what exercise it was, but I can put this in. What if my document? Okay. So I can actually, so you can see exactly what it's talking about. I can also put this here. Okay, so now that's still not going to show anywhere except in the title bar of your browser window. That's the only place the title shows. Oh no, the dog's going to start barking. Hey, would you call Megan and see if she got a hold of Aiden? She can't get Aiden to answer his phone. The dog's going nuts. Okay, so what we want to type in then is if you look at this section, those of you that haven't done this one, here's where it shows that all in the body. And to save the document where you just put that in, and this is what it will look like. So you notice that's what it looks like in the browser window over here. So next, we're going to identify the text elements and mark it up semantically. Semantically means, put her in a is what that means is that the headings have heading marks by them, and the ones that are supposed to be paragraphs have paragraphs. Juno, yeah. Okay, so we've got, so now which one in our actual HTML, which of this is the header? Where do we want the H1 tag? What did they tell us to do? Is this the H1? That's a heading if you want it head, but you see what happened is it made everything a header until I put it right in between. So now if I go over here and I refresh my, now this is what my browser looks like. So instead of Black Goose Bistro just being like the paragraph, now it's in bolded and it skipped a line automatically just by putting that header tag around it, right? So next, I want the restaurant to be a header, but I want it to be smaller than the title, right? So header tags go from H1 to H6, so, or H5. I think H5 is the smallest. So you can actually experiment and you can see what it does. But this one, we want to be just one level below. So we're going to call it an H2. And when I do this, and I refresh my browser, you notice that it changed the restaurant to bold, but you'll notice that everything is left aligned because it's structured that way until we do a style on it. And that's when we're going to put something up here, and the style tag is 4-5. But right now, we're just going to, so Kenya, where else do I need to put H2s?
Around the catering and location and
Oh,
hours.
you must be, oh, just a second. Hold on, I think I turned you off. Okay, go ahead, go again, Kenya.
That's okay. Around the catering and location and hours title.
Exactly, you got it. So right here, we're gonna put an H2, because we want all three of those headings to look the same, right?
Mhm.
Oops, I didn't do that right. Now you're having to type these cancel ones. It's just Dreamweaver automatically puts them in there. Okay, so now if I refresh my browser, it shows me. Now, when you're in Text Editor Notepad, you can't just refresh the browser. You have to open in a browser window so like if your file is sitting here, let me see if it got any of
Actually, you
them.
have to save it first, and then you can refresh
That's,
it.
that's correct. And if you save it in Notepad, you have to make sure that it's saved as an HTML document. Uh-oh. Okay, so that would mean once you did, then you could see what I'm seeing here in Dreamweaver. Now, if you want to use Dreamweaver as an editor, you can. Okay, so we've got the headings taken care of. Next is a paragraph element. It's done in a similar manner. So we're going to go, and where it says the Black Goose Bistro offers, we're going to put a paragraph. And the reason we want these tags in here is because we want to put a style for a paragraph. Okay, so now when I refresh, it didn't change anything. It's just that these are grouped as a paragraph so that when I do my style, it's going to put whatever font, whatever color that I want that paragraph to be. I style it. So we've marked up the document. And if you're looking in your book, it shows you that's what it should look like. And ours does. That's what it looks like. Except for we have a different kind of font up there. That's only because I have defaulted probably in Dreamweaver to be a sans serif font. Okay, so now we're going to go down to, it talks about block and inline elements. And so those of you that don't have your book yet, a block element is an element that like a header, because it, and a paragraph, all of these that we've used so far have been block elements because they're what it explains here, headings and paragraphs display as blocks. Browsers treat block elements as though they are in little rectangular boxes stacked up in the page. Each block element begins on a new line. And so if you were looking at it the way the browser looks at it, that's the way it would look. They look at a block element as a block, like a rectangle. And that means that everything inside that block, you can give a style to it. So like An inline element is like if you want something to be italicized, like here where it says we'll handle the cooking, they wanted it in italicized. Well, that's called, it used to be an I, but now it's called an EM, emphasize. So you say EM, and it will only emphasize what's inside those brackets. So now if I refresh, see how it changed? We handle the cooking. That's called inline because it doesn't start on a new line. So you can go inside just one paragraph and put an emphasis on it. If you want inside the paragraph something to be bolded, like say I wanted this to be bolded, I wouldn't use bold, I use something called strong. And it didn't tell you to do this, I just want to show you. So if we're using, and say I want that whole title, that whole part to be that, and I click it. Oh, why did it not do it? Not sure why that didn't work. I'll have to play with it some more inside of here. Did I not refresh it or something? Well, I'll do that again in a minute and see what happens. But these are called semantic because semantically correct means grammatically correct. In other words, things that should be in a paragraph are in a paragraph. Used to, people would kind of use the headers to bold things, even if it wasn't a heading style. So that's what's called semantic, and we're going to use style sheets to actually make it look different. But first we're going to add an image. So now to make that image work, I'm going to have to put it in the same folder with this one. Let's see if I can find it here. If it will let me, because it hasn't copied all that over yet. Okay, it's this one. Oh, okay, let's see. Copy, and I'm going to put it over here on the desktop. Is where my index is? Nope. It's in here. Okay, so the main thing is I have to be sure that my image is in the same folder as my HTML document, or your image won't show up. Okay, so if you're coding outside of that chapter 4 folder, then you probably didn't get your goose image to show up. But now I should be able to get it to show up because I put it in the same folder. So in order to add an element, this is the tag for an element, and you'll notice it has properties or attributes, they call them, which is the same thing. This is saying image source. So it's saying what file do you want to show? And you have to use the exact name of the file. In this case, it's blackgoose.ping. So I'm going to go wherever it told me to put it. And the other attribute is alt tag. That's an alternate, so that if somebody doesn't have in their browser, they can't view images, then you want to have whatever that image is a picture of show up in text. So here is the image tag that I want to put up, just like it is in the book. And where do they put it as? Right before, as part of the H1. So I'm going to put it here, img src equals, and it's going to say, see how this one, and you notice how it has to be in quotes, just like it showed you in your book. And then the alt tag will say that's the logo for this website. So it's like that. And then I have to end my image tag. Now, if I refresh, There we go. Now, because I don't have a separate H1, notice that it put that goose and it didn't put it underneath. Really should have two. Okay, so what it's doing, there's another tag called a break, and that will cause it to go to a new line. So now if I refresh, there we go. Now it looks like that one in your book, right? So it should look just like that structure. So now the style that we want to put in there, does it show you all the, yeah, there's all the stuff. So now when you type this in between the style tags, it's going to add, you're going to see it add style. If I do live up here, you'll see typing. Live. Okay, so now my first style tag is for the body because we want to give it a default. We say body, and you'll notice that these use the curly braces. And background, what is it? Background color. And I'm cheating a little bit by using Dreamweaver, but I want to get it done here for you. So it actually comes up in Dreamweaver with a color chart too. And you'll notice there has to be a semicolon after each one for it to work. Margin. This is saying put 0 pixels at the top, 10% to the right, leave that much space in the margin. But you'll learn more about it. This is just typing it in. So here it's saying font family, sans serif. Okay, so you'll notice it put my closing brace here. When you're doing one particular tag, you have to have an opening and a closing, curly brace. So the next tag it has us define is the H1. And you'll notice how as I was typing background color in and everything, it changed the color of my background. And it also scooted my margin over to the right. You'll notice that. If yours doesn't do that, then you've not typed something in your style right. So now my H1 is open. Oops. Curly. What is happening here? I have something open. There we go. Okay, so now I want to go down a line. I want my H1 to have text aligned, so that's where it's going to align my text to the center. So only in the H1s, see how it moved it right over when I put text aligned center. Okay, next, font family serif. So I want the heading to be a different font. And it just says serif, so I'm not going to put a default says serif. So now you notice it changed the style of just my title because it's the only H1 in my document. These are H2s, so they haven't changed any. Then I have font weight. Font weight, and that's how bold it is. So the higher the number, the more contrast you're going to see between the other text. So it tells me to use normal. You also see those down here. See normal. So it's saying use a normal weight and text transform to uppercase. Text transform. So it wants to make all of my heading uppercase. So you see what it just did. Changed it to uppercase. Almost done here. Border. bottom. So you can actually change every side of the border of a box. Like this is a block element, H1. So there's a border on top, a border on the right, border on the bottom, border on the left. So you can actually define all of those and change the looks of and the appearance of the H1 altogether. So this one says to make it 1 pixel wide, the border, and solid, because there's like dashed and dotted and all different kinds. Then it says the color is to be 5, 7. You can pick out the color and it'll automatically put this hex code in here. And if you've worked with Photoshop, you know what hex codes are. So there's supposed to be 57. Yeah, it changed the color here. I think it's one black, looks like. Okay, one more thing, margin. So margin dash top, and that is 30 pixels. So it's saying to scoot it down some. So there's our border bottom that it made. It made a bottom border, it made it this color, and it's solid, and it's only 1 pixel. If I changed this to 5, look how much wider my border is. You can change it at any time to whatever, like when you're coding with it. And just to play around with style, you might want to code an H2 and a paragraph and see how it changes things. Did you have a question, Kenyon? No? Okay. All right. So that's all we're going to get to tonight because my eye is about to fall out. So I can't look at these screens anymore. But I will put your next assignment. We're going to go on through chapter 5 and work through the HTML. And I'll put another one of the, did anybody have a quick, I haven't looked at those discussions, but I'll look at the discussions and make some comments hopefully in the next few days on the don't make me think.
Quick
Yes.
question. So
Sure.
this is basically the, what we just did right here is basically the chapter 4 assignment, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I can just do all this and turn it in, right?
You need to do, actually, I had you do 4, 1, 4. Yeah. Actually, if you haven't submitted yours yet, you only have to submit the last one. But people were not submitting your HTML. You need to submit your HTML and your screenshot of the browser window so that I can see it should look like this when you're finished.
Okay,
And,
so do this.
and you need to be sure and put your name up here.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So just do
Okay,
that.
the ones that, what?
Oh, I was just talking.
Are there
stuff.
still other people in the classroom, Shy?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they just didn't come in the Zoom. Okay. All right, so if you guys are okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off and I will post this, I will post the video up here because I've been,
All
Your eye
those who
feels
are-
better.
what?
I hope your eye feels better.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. A couple days and it'll be all right. It just has to be fixed every so often. When you get old, things like that happen. Actually, no, that wasn't what it is. I damaged it a year ago. I poked a piece of cardboard in my eye when I was trying on sunglasses and it pulled a layer effect.
Oh,
That's what I did. All right, so I will see you guys next week. If you have any questions, just email me and I'll post the new assignments up, so be watching for that, okay?
Okay.
All right, see you guys later.
To all those who are still in the classroom at the Rose State, be careful getting home and starting to sleep.
yeah, you guys keep
Okay.
Okay, now where did we, oh, I hope it went. It's not letting me find where, oh, there it is.
Kenya, make sure you message me.
I'm gonna text you in just a moment, love.
Okay, later.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.
Now.